How to connect to ROSI-REPLICA from the Power BI Report Builder client, build a paginated report, and publish it to the Power BI online service. Prerequisites to connecting to ROSI-REPLICA include having access to ROSI-REPLICA data. You can request ROSI access via the ROSI and Database Access Request form on the Student Information Systems SharePoint site. Next, you'll need to be enrolled with UTR MFA. You can enroll via the UTR MFA self-enrollment page at uft.me/mfa-self-enrollment. You'll also need your UTR ID and UTR ID password. Lastly, you will need the admin VPN. So let's begin by connecting to the admin VPN via Cisco AnyConnect. Once you have access to ROSI-REPLICA data and are connected to the VPN, you need to have the Power BI Report Builder application installed. We have a video link below to help guide you through the installation process. So let's launch the Power BI Report Builder client. Begin by going into the Insert tab, select Table, and then launch the Table Wizard. We are going to create a dataset and then select Next. Click on New, and this will open up the Data Source Properties window. Begin by entering in the name of your data source, so in our case it is ROSI-REPLICA, and then select the connection type as Microsoft Azure SQL Database, and then select Build. In the Connection Properties window, we will enter in the ROSI-REPLICA server. This can be found in the linked documentation from the Power BI toolbox, and then we will select the authentication as Azure Active Directory Authentication. Your username is your utoronto.ca email, and then we will connect to a database by clicking on the drop-down arrow, locate ROSI-REPLICA, and then select OK. You can test your connection and then select OK. Ensure that the data source is selected and then click on Next. Now, you can expand the tables and see the various fields within. On the right, you can see all the selected fields. You also have the option to apply filters. Once we have all of our fields, select Next. We will now create our table for the paginated report by dragging and dropping the available fields into column groups, row groups, or values that will populate the table, and then select Next. You can leave the next screen as default since it allows you to change the layout and then select Next. Finally, click on Finish. You can see your table taking effect here, and you can customize it by clicking on the table. Let's begin by adding a title to our report. And then we're going to move our report elements around a little to add in a pre-saved image. So in our case, I'll be bringing in a UFT logo. So go into the Insert tab, click on Image, size your image, and then import and click on OK. We can resize it and fit the other elements to the page by altering font sizes and table dimensions. If we click on the table along the right-hand side, you will see the table properties. This is where you can make customizations, for instance, changing the border size to 5 points, changing the font of the text, or the text alignment. You could also ensure that your row or column headers are always visible, or you can add in filters and can sort your data. There are plenty of customization options such as adding in page numbers, charts, making your reports more accessible, some of which can be found in the Power BI toolbox. Once we are happy with our report, we can click on the Run icon to run our report. You can change your view by clicking on Print Layout, to see what it would look like if you were to print the report. We also see that there are 3 pages, and we can move through each page. Finally, if we click on the design icon again, it takes us back to the editing area, and then we can publish our report to the Power BI workspace. Once it is published, go into the Power BI online service and set up your data source. We have a video linked below to help you with that. That's it, you are connected to ROSI-REPLICA from the Power BI Report Builder client, and you created and published a report to the Power BI online service. Next steps include learning more advanced functionalities offered by Power BI Report Builder.